dance with me? Would you like to waltz with me? Waltz of the flowers. Let's invite in the flower energy. The flower of healing, shall we? Aloha, welcome. We're waltzing tonight. We're waltzing tonight. There we go. I was like, can't hear the music. There it is. Any ballerinas in the house? Just getting the Reiki flowing, friends. Getting the Reiki flowing. Call it in. Here we go. So good. Medicine for the soul. Here, just one last. All right. Enough of that. Y'all welcome. Aloha, friends and family. You thought I wasn't going to come on live today. Well, so it was getting late, and I honestly didn't know if I was going to come on live today or not. Like, if it was going to happen, you know. The flow of the day's events was just, it was unique, and it was the divine flow. What can I say? This is how it's all unfolding. So right now I find myself, it's a bit later in the evening, and we're seeing what friends come online, what friends come available. And I'm holding the space, feeling the energy. So without further ado, I will introduce myself. I was like, who's here? I'm here. Hello, welcome. My name is Taylor. I am a Reiki master teacher. And this is day 34 of the 40 days of Reiki. And my intention with the 40 days of Reiki is to educate, inform, inspire, and intrigue you about Reiki as a tool for healing in mind, body, soul, and spirit. Mind, body, heart, soul, healing, all the levels of being, all the bodies that come with this human sacred container in which we all live, as well as Reiki as a tool for spiritual awakening, because it's that too, if you want it to be. It can be a spiritual path in and of itself. Reiki. What is Reiki? Reiki is universal life force energy. Reiki is consciously guided life force energy. Reiki is spiritually guided life force energy. Welcome, friends, coming on in. It's a bit of a different time for this live, but we're rolling with it. The energy was like, yeah, we'll do it now. The people who are meant to come will be there, and we'll be there, and we'll have a good time. So welcome. Welcome to day 34 of the 40 days of Reiki, where we're talking about Reiki from different angles every time and sharing the energy as well. I was just saying that Reiki is conscious life force energy. It comes from a very high source of consciousness. Do we know exactly what that source of consciousness is? No. We don't. It's part of the mystery. It's part of the beautiful mystery. But, you know, the intel I get on the inside is that it's a very, very high source. You know, it's God. It's universal. It's the big stuff. It's the infinite stuff. And it's profoundly, deeply good stuff. You know, this is the light of the light of the light kind of stuff where the Reiki comes from. It's the realm of non-duality. What do I mean by duality? Duality is love and hate, you know, love and fear, black and white, on, off, light, dark. Reiki comes from a place where there's no duality, and guess what it is? It's just good stuff. It's love, it's pure consciousness, it's pure divine creative love, beautiful energy. This is, to me, where Reiki comes from. It's source. It is truly divine, enlightened spaces and places and energy that Reiki is. And Reiki is energy too. So it's like, what is this airy fairy? She looks like an airy fairy, you know, like what's Reiki? Reiki's energy. So it's very much energy. And in a Reiki training, for example, like the one I will be giving in May, online, link in bio, if you resonate, please sign up. I'd love to have you. In a Reiki training, you're actually attuned to the Reiki energy. So the Reiki energy has a specific frequency, and there is a practice, it's a guided meditation, it's a placement where it's not like I'm giving the energy to you. That was the old method where the Reiki master would actually like do some, you know, specific things. The energy would come in through the Reiki master and then be transferred to the student. In Holy Fire Usui Reiki, which is the tradition that I'm a part of, by, you know, the grace of God, by the grace of Reiki. It's just the first one I found, and it happens to be frickin' phenomenal. So in a Reiki training within that lineage, you actually get a placement. So I will give you the energy, and it's not, that's like an improper way of me even articulating that. So it's not that I give you the energy, it's that I call in the energy. I'm like, hey, Reiki, like, what's up? Like, Reiki 2 level, like, come on in. These people have agreed that they want the energy. And I call the energy in. And the Reiki energy, I'm basically like the gateway. I'm like the permission. I'm like the human permission collector from people who are in the class. And y'all are all like open and receptive and like laying down all comfortably, like ready for it, you know, open, willing to receive. And Reiki, the frequency of Reiki is actually placed within you, you know, and different people have different experiences of what that's like. But basically, for me, it was like a full body thing. It was like a full body. It was a heart thing, but it was like an everything thing. It was like very deep and very embodied, but it was also like in my field too. So the Reiki attunement, the placement, you were given the Reiki energy directly, and it's called an attunement because like it is a specific frequency, it is a specific vibration that is kind of like, you know, you're a tuning fork, and it's like ding, we're gonna like tune you to the frequency, or like you're a radio transmitter, and we're like, all right, we're gonna turn you to that channel. Okay, now you got it, you're getting the frequency, right? That's the attunement. And the placement, like I said, is a specific one in the lineage that I'm a part of, where, you know, my ego, my limitations, my unhealthy aspects, it can't mess it up. It can't mess up this placement. That's what's so beautiful. The energy is like, y'all, like, we need to make this as straightforward as possible, that nobody's getting in the way, nothing's getting tarnished, no egos getting all like wrapped up in it. We're making this clean, we're making it real clean, real simple. Nobody's going to be able to get it wrong this way. I'm just going directly into the people who are in the class who are saying, hey, permission, like, I want the Reiki. So that's how that works. So what that whole tangent, the point of that was Reiki is energy, and it's also a system of tools and techniques. It's like, great, okay, I got the energy. Now what the heck do I do with it? How do I work with it? And that's where the tools and techniques are things like the Reiki symbols, for example, which are awesome. And they have specific functions, right? You don't have to use the symbols, but like, they're pretty awesome to work with. As well as like, how does the energy work? How do you call it in? How are some different ways it can be expressed? What are the proven, time and time again, time tested techniques and tools that really work well with it, that people have already discovered? And the thing is, you'll learn all these, and then the more you start actually working with it and listening to it and just interacting with it and developing your own relationship with Reiki, you'll be using it intuitively. You'll be like innovating new ways to work with Reiki that work for you and your life and your lifestyle and your habits and your needs and everything. It's like, it's customized. You will customize it to your lifestyle. But at a training, it's really nice because you learn these like, okay, 3D, we need some like concrete things that you can do to work with this airy fairy, big energy stuff. And that's what's in these handy dandy manuals that you get when you do a training. And it's great because it's like, for nerdos like me, super student people, like, you get to really understand and like have things to read, have things to look at, like have some protocols to follow. But it's not such that like, this is exactly how you have to do it, and you can never like, have an intuitive working relationship with Reiki at all. No, like this is like foundational stuff, and then you can build upon it from there and really like have fun and enjoy creating your own relationship to it. So Reiki 1 and 2, I'm teaching it in May. It will be online. It will be live. It'll be like this. It'll be live, but it won't be on Instagram. It'll be on Zoom. It'll be a meeting, so everybody will be able to see everybody in the class, and we'll all be there together, and I'll be facilitating the placements and giving the trainings and everything like that. Karen in the house. Karen's doing the training. She knows what's up. I was just telling the friends that more about the training, and yeah, that it's happening online, which is really cool, meaning you can learn Reiki, like all the things, from the comfort of your home and not have to travel and like incur all these additional expenses to actually train with the teacher you want to train with. I mean, that's what I had to do in the past. I'll just like say a little like traveling through the, like the grandparents say, I had to walk 10 miles through the snow back when I was a kid. For me, my first training, I drove myself, by myself in my vehicle from Arizona to Louisiana, not once, but twice, to get my Reiki 1 and my Reiki 2 with the teacher I wanted to do my training with. So, I threw down gas money, I threw down accommodation money, and I was doing the whole raw vegan thing too, which I still do. While I was doing it, which means, I was like prepping all my food and making the smoothies and getting the juice done beforehand and all this stuff, just to make it work. And now, we can take these classes. These classes are being offered. I'm offering this class online, and like, it doesn't get any easier than that. You could be receiving the energy literally on your favorite couch, like blissed out, listening to your specific favorite relaxing music. You know, it's not like you're at the mercy of whatever music like I may happen to choose, which I really do like the music with Reiki. The two go together really, really nicely. So that is happening, y'all. That's in May. Registration is open. The sooner you register, the better, because the second you decide to do the class, like, you've given Reiki permission to start really like blessing your life and bringing in more gifts and more abundance and more love and light into your life. And yeah, that sounds convenient or like marketing or something, but y'all, it's about as real deal as I can get. I'm just telling y'all because that's what happened. And you can get the blessing sooner, and also like get your manuals in and everything. I'm about to send an email to the current class registrants, people who have already registered, about how to actually register on reiki.org so that you can get your electronic email, your digital manual as soon as possible, and start nerding out on that if you so choose, because the blessings are at your disposal. Right, so the sign up for that, the link is in my bio, or if you're watching this on YouTube after the live, it'll be in the description, and y'all can get registered for that if you're interested and you're vibing it. And I really encourage you, if you're curious, if your inner guidance is like, I don't know why, but I keep watching this chick, you might want to actually consider taking the class and like receiving the energy. There's something you're picking up on, and it might not just be, you like my top or my crystal or something. It's like you might actually really be vibing with the energy, because that's really what all this is. All right, those are announcements. The other thing, if you're feeling healing in these lives, please share them. Share them with family, friends, in your stories, in your social media, wherever. Give it a like. Help Reiki reach more people. Help more people receive healing and the awakening that Reiki very generously offers to anyone who gives it permission to do so. And without further ado, we will go ahead and roll right into the invocation. How about that? What's an invocation? It is a guided meditation where I will be calling in the energy. And as if the energy is not already here, it is. But this calls it in like a beautiful, specific way, and empowers like various symbols, and it'll like bring us together in a sacred container, really like reinforcing this as the safest, most highest vibe container that it can possibly be. And if you are open to receive healing, you will receive healing. And if you still don't really understand what Reiki is, or you're not sure about it, you also will not receive Reiki, because Reiki, as I said at the beginning, comes from a very high source of consciousness that respects free will, and it's not going to go to anybody who doesn't say yes to it. It's like consensual adults only. All right. So y'all, go ahead and close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Tune in, turn your awareness inward. Check in with your heart, with your breath, with this whole inner world that we each have, that's just as rich, just as complex, just as absolutely amazing as the external world. Equally incredibly, unbelievably beautiful terrain within each of us, as without. The light of Reiki fills the space around you. As you breathe in, the light of Reiki flows in on your breath and fills your body. You receive the light, and the light within you wakes up and is revealed to you. This is the light of your life force, your spirit. There are archangels standing at the corners of the land, and on every side, standing all around you. And they shine their light into the light. As you breathe in, The power of love fills your breath, and you receive the power of love. And the power of love within you wakes up and is revealed. You remember, love is who you are at the core of your being. The light of the divine mind fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine mind, and the divine mind within you wakes up. Your higher consciousness, your higher thought is present, and the field of possibilities is open. Your intuition, instincts, and imagination are awake. Your inner guidance, your inner truth, and inner authority are activated and revealed. Your heightened perceptions, senses, instincts, and observations are awake and present and revealed to you. The light of the divine heart fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine heart. And the divine heart within you wakes up, and your heart light is revealed. Your heart light shines out in front of you, on each side, above you, below you, within you. This is your divine presence. And as you see your divine presence, you see it in everything and everyone around you. The light of the earth rises through you and fills your body and your breath, and you remember that your body is made of the earth. Your body gives your life force, your spirit, breath, and life. Your body is the treasure house for your great beaming light. Your pure human spirit is revealed. The light of creation, the light of God, fills the air you breathe and flows in and reveals the light of creation, the light of God in you. Your divine spirit is revealed. Your divine spirit and human spirit unify in your breath. When you listen, you can hear the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of creation beating in the same rhythm as your heart. The light of creation and the light of your body are one light within you, unified. Your divine nature is present in your human nature. Your divine spirit is present in your human spirit. You remember your beautiful spirit, your life force is here in your life, in this moment, in time, now. Look into your heart and say thank you to you. Take this time to notice how deeply you love, how deeply you care. We say thank you to each other. We are meant to be here together today. We say thank you to the angels and the enlightened ones and the illumined beings and the ascended masters and the brothers and sisters in the light who join us. And thank you to the teachers who come before us and the descendants who come after us. We are honored to be among them, humbled to be among them. Ahoy, amen, namaste, and so it is. Thank you, mahalo, gracias. As a child of God, I claim my power and purpose as a servant of God. I demand that all darkness leave me and all who are watching immediately. into the light, be healed. Into the light, be healed. Into the light, be healed. I ask that Archangel Michael place me and all who are watching in his blue bubble of protection against all darkness. Aloha, friends. Welcome. Welcome into the Reiki dimension. It's a good time here. Good place, good time, right? Feeling the energy, feeling the healing. Yeah. Those invocations are deep. They're really good. Don't underestimate them, you know? Don't underestimate them. Calling in that energy. Releasing any darkness into the light to be healed. Right? We're not just tossing it out there to like attach onto somebody else or, you know, cause more problems in the world. It's actually offering healing to whatever kind of energy is currently in a disharmonic state. It's being invited into the light where it can be dealt with by higher consciousness and alchemized into harmonic energy where it could then be placed and sent off into the universe wherever it needs to go. I mean, maybe that spirit that was released or that entity or that negative thought form, that could become the next beautiful, brilliant galaxy in the universe. You know, it could become the next sun. Like maybe that's what its purpose is. But it was, you know, hanging around your mind, like causing heck in your mind or in your heart or in your body. Isn't that cool? Like we have that chance. That's what Reiki does. That's what Reiki does. That's what Reiki is revealing to me that it does. That it works like that. That it truly works with energy. And energy is everything. It really is. In different forms. In the elements. Yes, the elements are just different expressions of the energy. Yeah, and Reiki has really brought me a lot of understanding about how all that works and how all that matters, and yeah, like downloaded things that maybe are very, very complex and shown and reveal them in simpler ways, more digestible, more palatable ways. And again, it's like I'm getting heady, right? That's just me, because like I said, I'm a nerd. That's what I do. I'm a thinker, I'm an intellectual, and the thing is with Reiki, it doesn't matter. You don't have to understand a dang thing. You don't have to even know what Reiki really is, right? And it's like, I don't even know fully what it is. Like, you know, that's the thing. We don't have to understand what the energy is, how exactly it works, any of it, for it to do the work that it can do. And it can do some pretty remarkable things, you know. The sky is the limit, and that's even like, it's not like it can do the sky, like it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's truly infinite. It's truly unlimited potential, and that's like bigger than the human mind can understand. So it's okay if you don't understand. It's okay if you never perceive anything in working with the energy. It's still doing a lot of good stuff. I'm a real curious person, so I'm like, ooh, show me. I want to be more perceptive. I like knowing. I like experiencing. I like seeing and opening to like what's really going on and understanding it. But it's by no means a requirement in order to get, you know, say the healing that's available to get the like physical healing of some issue, or to experience, you know, the alleviation of like depression or something like that, to get really real tangible results. You really don't have to understand what's going on. What's needed really is that permission piece, giving Reiki permission to do its thing, as well as openness. And that's something that like we're not really taught in this culture. And I say this culture, I mean like human culture. I think maybe different cultures within humanity have maybe varying degrees of learning openness and learning how to receive. But I think a lot of the collective pain body and conditioning of humans that are existing now is that we don't really know how to receive. And there's a lot of programming and ideas about, you know, not receiving, just give, do, and like you're not worth a dang thing, so don't even bother like trying to receive, you know, because ain't nobody giving you anything. You know, you just need to give, and like keep pouring from your cup, and oh, it's empty. Well, shoot, that's your problem, right? That's your problem. Deal with it. But Reiki, one of the like, oh, surprise bonus, this is a cool effect of it, is actually teaching people how to actually start receiving again, because Earth is a dual realm. You know, there is give and receive, there's masculine and feminine. And the receive thing, it's like, guess what, friends? Like, we're all worthy. We're all worthy of receiving. And the way this energy works is actually through grace, where you're not having to do anything. You're not having to earn it. You're not having to, like, earn the healing, or, like, be something you're not, or, like, you know, whatever, do anything. It's really like, the thing you have to do is receive. The thing you have to do is receive. And a lot of us, like, yeah, we weren't taught that, we weren't equipped with that. That's a new skill set, and it is a skill set, but it gets easier. And it really opens up this, in my experience, has opened up this dimension to life where like things just work a lot easier. Like, I'm not taking things personally, things flow better, like in the flow, instead of like being like, I am a dominatrix and I have to dominate the obstacle, and like, you know, like bulldoze through the thing and like just make it happen and like force it, and like we're on a time schedule here, and like, you know, it's a completely different way to like surrender into a flow. And it's not a flow in the sense of, oh, I'm just like floating in the ocean with no real it's a flow that's in line with, what did I say, in line? Oh, that's kind of cool though. Aligned with intention. It's a conscious flow. It's like you and the universe, you and God, and, you know, me, I'll say this from my perspective, me and the universe, or me and God, like co-creating the divine flow of my life and my path and my purpose. It's a dance. I mean, we'll come full circle here. We started out with the waltz of the flowers. And yeah, it's truly, it's like a dance with the divine. That's what learning this new skill of receptivity has opened up in my soul, is learning how to like dance my life with the divine, instead of like plowing through and like feeling lost and feeling disconnected and feeling like I'm just having to force my way through. And yeah, I'm like a good manifester. Like I gotten that feedback a lot. You're a good manifester, Taylor. Like you get things done quick. And it's like, yeah, I did, but also like there was like a lot of struggle in that. There was a lot of force, there was a lot of will, there was a lot of me using my own finite energy to will something to happen. And now, yeah, Karen's saying, what a beautiful way to describe it, so gentle and beautiful. Yeah, that's what Reiki really is. And it's like learning the power of that gentleness too, learning the power in beauty, like divine light of beauty, learning the power in the divine light of grace, learning the power in surrender, learning the great power of letting go, of release, of openness, all these things, sensitivity, a lot of these things that like are construed as weaknesses or vulnerabilities, or just glossed over and generally not valued in society now. A lot of these things I'm realizing with Reiki in my life, and as like my spiritual practice, as my profession, is that all of these things are real strengths, and like they're like these things that are just like out in the open, but we're not told to value them. We're not shown like the real power in them too. Power of love, right? We're blasted in the world with like fear, and everybody uses fear or like FOMO to get you to do anything. And really it's like fear is effective, but love is just as effective, and it's like a higher frequency, so it's gonna be gifting untold rewards to the person who's channeling it, the people who are receiving it. The whole thing's gonna be blessed if it's coming from this love energy. So yeah, the love energy teaches receptivity, it teaches openness, it teaches grace, it teaches you are actually worthy. Yeah, even you who feels unworthy or like not, like I must be the exception. Like, no, like you're not. There aren't any. Like, we're all basically good. We're all fundamentally whole. We're all, pure inside, and we're all each here for a very specific reason at this time in human history, where things are like, it seems like teetering on an edge. Like, you look outside, is it the apocalypse? I don't know. Right? Maybe so. But like, we're all here for a very specific reason, for a function, for a purpose to play. And nobody else can do anybody else's role or anyone else's job. Like, we each have very important jobs, and no, it might not be your 9 to 5. You might be switching into a new 9 to 5, or it might be the way you're showing up in your relationships or your home or to your kids or whatever. But you do make no doubt, you are here to bring in more light into this world, and to share specific gifts and talents with this world. And Reiki, Holy Fire Reiki in particular, really, really, really empowers that and clarifies that and helps crystallize that into your awareness. For me, it's brought all of that into my awareness. I'll ask for specific things, such as like big stuff too, things that's like, really, you asking for that? It's like, yeah, I am actually. Like Reiki, I would like to remember all of my past lifetimes of mastery, because y'all, like, if we made it here, we had some pretty phenomenal ancestors. My Reiki master teacher always says that. And we each have lifetimes of mastery. We each have lifetimes where, like, yeah, not much was going on, probably, nothing special, okay, really pretty average, like kindergarten lifetime. But we all also have very high levels of mastery in our lineages. And your the talents, the gifts, like the interests, the passions that you may already be aware of, or you were aware of as a child, those all, potentially, if you believe in the past life thing, if you're like, dude, no, like, not really, then don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. I'm just speaking from my experience, but this is something that I asked for recently, is to remember my past lifetimes of mastery. And Reiki delivers, Reiki does deliver that. And at times it's been like too much information, because things will be brought into my awareness, and anything that comes into your awareness, even if it's like, wow, this is a bag of dog poo, and it stinks and it reeks, and like, I don't want anything to do with this. Even the bag of dog poo that comes into your awareness, that's an opportunity for healing. That's an opportunity for growth. That's the opportunity to grow stronger, really. And, in asking for these past lifetimes of mastery to come up, I've remembered things that were unpleasant, but it brought into my awareness things that I have a chance now in this lifetime to use my current tools to go ahead and heal that and clear that from my soul history. Because that's, again, another one of the beautiful qualities of Reiki is, like, no problem with the space and time. And working with karma. How it works with karma is it's helping that alchemization process of processing disharmonic energy into harmonic energy. So it's really doing the deep healing work, so that nothing karmically is being, like, thrown off out of place too, because Reiki respects the free will, and Reiki also, it operates from a space of do no harm, truly, for real, not like when physicians, like, aspire to it, and then, half the time they're wreaking havoc, like, they're not trying to hurt you, but, like, it happens, right? Well, Reiki, it's like, actually does no harm, and respects free will, and will only act in ways that are for the highest good of you, others, and the world. And really, I would expand that out to, like, all of creation, everything that exists across time and space. So if it's gonna mess something up somewhere along the way, it's not gonna happen. That's really the beauty of it, because there are universal laws. Like, there are some governing principles, there is some order to this universe, like, and there are parameters, there are ways that things work, and Reiki certainly respects that, and will, like, I guess, like, some of the receptivity is also attuning you to those ways, those universal laws that, like, we ain't learning them in school. They're filling us up with things that, half the time are completely irrelevant or totally wrong. Like, Reiki is toning me in to be receptive and flow along with life in a way that is respecting these natural laws, these universal laws that may or may not ever, become fully conscious. Although now, just talking about this, I'm like, all right, this is another thing I need to ask for. What are all these universal laws I need to be aware of? So, different people have written different things about what those might be, but that's the thing about Reiki. I've shared this many times. It's not a religion. In fact, it will help you. It has helped me clarify what my belief system is, and it's put that power back within me rather than me seeking elsewhere, in an established spiritual tradition or in an established religious tradition or in an established, philosophical institution, like turning outside myself for answers. Instead, it's like all of those answers are available within, and I'm actually able to tap into that. That's one of the big themes that comes along with the holy fire Reiki energy. I've said this before, my teachers say this. It's this shift away from the external authority, the outer authority, the turning to the outside for answers, and a shift into the inner authority, the inner guidance. And y'all, like, that might not sound like a big deal, but it's a huge deal, and it's like the coolest thing ever. So I'm gonna write that down. Universal laws, ask Reiki. That's the thing. It's like anything you really want to know, like any answer. It's like write it down, make an intention of it, create some space, or even just hold the question. Like could I like go and meditate on that and see what downloads? Yeah, I could. And you know what? I could even whip out like my best crystals and like go and do that. Or I could simply hold that question, and then I'm in a receptive state. I continue to be in a receptive state, in an ongoing time frame, and that answer will just like pop up into my awareness as I go about life and like notice different things. It's like, oh, like seeing the small child bend over and pluck the flower, and like the law comes to me. This is really how that can happen if you're in a receptive state. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, one of the things I have written down here. Yeah, if y'all have questions, I didn't ask y'all to put them there, but you can, and I will answer them. I wrote some things down though, and the first thing I wrote down was let go and let Reiki. There's that expression, let go and let God. Maybe y'all have heard that one. It's a good one. It's a 12-step expression. Alcoholics Anonymous, Adult Children, Al-Anon, etc. And really, yeah, I just inserted the let go and let Reiki. And that has been a really, really profound thing for me. Like that's been the stuff of miracles, and especially with regard to relationships, challenging relationships where I desperately want healing of the relationship itself and for the other person on the other side of that relationship, desperately wanting healing and happiness and health and all the good things for that person, but with some ego, maybe subtly or not so subtly, like tied up and wrapped up in that. One of the things that's really come through to me lately in my healing of myself, because y'all, every time I share Reiki, I get healed. Like, that's another one of the beauties of it. You become a Reiki practitioner, and it's not like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted from doing sessions all day. It's like, no, I don't need to eat because I have so much energy, or I hardly don't need as much sleep because I've been in the Reiki energy all day, or I need to ground now because I'm like so high. Like, you're drawing from an infinite source, so it's like win-win-win, best possible situation. I do need to still take care of my human body, okay? I'm not saying that. And I'm like, I'm really good at that too. Like, that's another skill set. my personality has, thankfully, that I think more healers need that. But it is one of the beautiful qualities of Reiki is you don't like lose your own personal energy. So in doing more and more healing work where I'm just tapping into that, I'm being healed, the unhealthy parts of my ego are being healed. Then when I'm showing up in my, my life relationships, my personal relationships, there's not that unhealthy ego relating where I'm like trying to change other people or like enforce my will upon them that they be a certain way or make certain changes or like be healthier like in this specific way, and if they just do the raw vegan diet already they will be healed, and can they just do the dang water fast, or whatever specific idea about what I know they should do and this would fix it. Right, letting go of that and like really letting Reiki, it's like, y'all, the magic that's happened in my personal relationships has been unreal. Real, but like unreal, man, like miracle, like oh my God, huge, amazing, better than I could have ever imagined or forced with my will, like just truly the stuff of like those sappy books or movies you read where like the miracles come true and they like ride off into the sunset. It's like, people who I wouldn't have imagined certain things for, these things have manifested, or these beautiful healings have taken place, or they're telling me something about their life and I'm like, oh my God, that's totally something I would have told you to do, but I didn't, and I like gave up hope that you would ever do that, and now you're here telling me that you elected to do this, and like you just started that, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Reiki, like the quantum healing. It's Reiki's really good for relationships, y'all, and it's really good if I'm like a recovering codependent person too, like queen of toxic relationships, like reward, like I would earn one designation, codependent champion. Like ability to create unhealthy relationships right here, like I got that one. Y'all, for the codependent friends in the house, Reiki can be a real help. And I'm really excited because I've told y'all this before, I'm doing a Karuna Reiki training, which is the next level after Master and ART. And in Karuna Reiki, you learn 8 symbols, and one of those specifically has to do with codependency. And because I signed up for that class, I already got the symbols, so I got to do a little cheat sheet, look at it, and I've started working with them a bit. But I haven't been attuned to Karuna, so I haven't like technically received that attunement and placement and everything. But I am feeling that the symbols are working, and I actually did start using that codependent symbol with some of my relationships, and just in general, like calling in that energy. And I can say I've seen a big difference. I've seen a really positive difference where like I'm just able to relate to people with like that ease and detachment, and not only that of like, oh, like I'm cool with me, so like I don't care if you're destroying your life, I don't care, like it doesn't wound me terribly to the point where I can't recover and care for myself to see you destroying my life. No, it's like people who previously I may have been viewing as like they're destroying their life, like they've received miracle healings, or like they're suddenly telling me about all their new good habits or things that they're doing that I'm just like, oh my God. And like I'm just remaining in this detached, compassionate space of love, and like my mind is being blown at what I'm hearing on the other end from these people. It's a y'all, it's a miracle. And what can happen with this if you really work with it sincerely, working with the Reiki sincerely, and learning how to receive the things that become possible. It's truly amazing. It's truly amazing, and it's just a completely different way of operating. And really being attuned to Reiki for me is attuned to this frequency of unity consciousness, attuned to this frequency of love, of divine grace, of forgiveness, of compassion, of gentleness, of the divine feminine and the divine masculine in balance, attuned to the frequency of the world actually getting on a good timeline, and that things are looking good down the pipe, that from maybe a very narrow, dropped in, identified with human life on earth right at the second perspective, things look really bad, but being able to zoom out and have a bit more of the God perspective, or the just the real big picture perspective, that it really is all okay. The sense of comfort and certainty and security and trust that is cultivated in that space. I mean, these are priceless gifts. They are absolutely priceless gifts, and that's why I'm teaching Reiki. It's I don't want to keep any of this to myself. I want everyone to experience it. Everybody who wants it to experience it. Yeah, Laura, how she glows is saying Reiki is amazing. Yeah, if you're attuned to Reiki energy in any lineage, then you do already have a taste of what's up. And yeah, if you've had a Reiki session, now I was just at a retreat and I met a guy there who was like, yeah, I had a Reiki session, I didn't really feel anything. And I mean, sometimes that is the case, and sometimes it's also maybe that just wasn't the right Reiki practitioner for you, or maybe you did get everything you needed from that healing, and that Reiki practitioner was dope and was really tapped in, but you weren't able to perceive anything. A million different things could have caused that. But the thing is, if you're drawn to me, if you're drawn to be here, then chances are there's a reason. And I encourage you to follow, start listening to that inner guidance, and start noticing any ways that inner guidance may communicate with you. I've posted about this before, but one way that mine was always communicating with me was curiosity, being really curious about a certain thing. I can't get it out of my head. I'm just really interested, really fascinated, and just want to learn everything about something and then dive into it. Or I would have this recurring crazy idea to do something, such as go try out being a nun, right? Not a normal thing, not something that a lot of people maybe ever have. But for me, this kept coming up. And I'm so glad every single time I followed that inner guidance. Facebook today was showing me a memory of 6 years ago. 2015, it was all my artwork. I was letting go of all my artwork because I was moving from Indiana, where I was in grad school for clinical psychology, in a very competitive, one of the best doctorate programs for clinical psych. And I was finishing up my master's, en route to get my doctorate. But I had decided that I wasn't going to finish my doctorate. I was going to leave, get my master's, and move to Hawaii. And so I was letting go of all my belongings before I made that move, because Hawaii, you want to pack light. It's kind of not an easy place to move to if you have a lot of stuff. And a lot of the minimalist stuff was coming into my awareness, and that was really resonating. So this memory on Facebook was showing me, hey, that was my inner guidance, and that was me following it big time when I had this crazy idea and I decided to take that leap of faith. And, you know, was it a totally smooth sailing the next 6 years after that? No. Not at all. It was like bliss for a while, then it got like really uncomfortable and like really bad, and but the whole time it was path. It was learning, it was growing, it was healing, it was all divine timing, it was all divine process, it was all, I was tapped in enough, I was following my inner guidance enough, I was using my discernment enough, I was learning from my mistakes enough, I was consistent enough. I look back and I'm just like amazed, and like it makes me love myself that much more. So yeah, that's really another gift that can come through, is like having that. I mean, you get this just growing older anyway, and reflecting, having that perspective, and looking back and being like, whoa, I really was doing a good job. You know, I really was following that inner guidance. And I think being able to look back and see how it was manifesting and I was trusting it enough helps me to like highlight it and continue to follow it, you know, with even more confidence moving forward. That, yeah, if I'm having another crazy idea, I probably need to just like go for it and listen to it, no matter how like seemingly challenging it is, and trust that, you know, Reiki has my back, divine timing is aligned, and that I am truly a strong body, strong soul, strong mind, strong spirit, like I was posting about today. Because we are, if we've made it this far, we really are. And we each have, as I was saying, like a lot to offer, something unique, something that's really going to leave this world a better place. Nobody else can do you. No one else can do your job. No one else can do your gifts and talents. Yeah, there might be another really good yoga teacher out there or something, but there's no other yoga teacher out there that's you, and like brings your life experiences and your qualities and your energy and your unique beingness. You know, we each individually have that, and Reiki really helps reveal it, stripping away, just like releasing into the light all those layers of density, all that stuff we sit, you know, maybe some of you, I certainly spent my fair share in the psychotherapist's office, the psychiatrist's office, trying to frickin' work this stuff out in the 12-step groups, all the things, trying to like, can we just heal this stuff already? And I think a lot of that is actually more masculine approach, depending on who your therapist is, all right? Like, I don't want to make a blanket generalization. There are some metaphysical therapists and like people who are real tapped in and like, you know, have maybe more wide-ranging, diverse toolkits. But yeah, you know, sitting in the therapist's office, working my tail off trying to do this, you know, then doing it a different way at the Buddhist monastery, meditating my mind into mush to try and like clear all this stuff out and get a freaking quiet mind already. And then Reiki, it's like I'm activating this, and it's like lifting all these layers of the culturally created self, lifting off the programming, lifting off the negative thought forms, you know, bringing all of this junk into the light that I've already tried healing like a bajillion other different ways. Reiki just does it, yeah, with gentleness, with authority, non-traumatically, not trying, you know, I'm not having to relive every little like last horrible thing that ever happened to me. And all that's really required is me just continuing to like get my ego out of the way and not interfere, and detach from any story that comes up. Because let's say I'm having all these past life memories, as I ask for my lifetimes of mastery to come into my conscious awareness, I have a story emerge about a past toxic relationship I had with a narcissist, because that's been one of my things, the narcissist problem with men with big egos and authority figures. I feel like many of you can probably relate to this. And I have some story come up about it in this past life scenario that's like having a parallel thing happen in a present life scenario. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna detach from the story, set my ego aside, really see this through the eyes of love, and like bless the win-win situation for me, this other person, across time and space, and just repeatedly let go of that story, no matter how interesting or intricate or like cool it could be. It's like none of that matters, and keep checking Tay's ego at the door. I was doing this healing on myself. I was like, Tay, like you're on the bench, all right? Tay's ego on the bench. You're benched, sister. Like, it doesn't matter whether I was like victim, perpetrator, the one that was abused, the one that rose higher or went lower vibe, the one who was more powerful, less powerful back in the past situation. None of that matters. What matters is that it's being brought into my awareness. There's this opportunity to heal it and clear it. At least my part. I can't control the other person's part. I can use that Karuna Reiki relationship symbol to try and help it out as much as possible. And that's another thing. Some of these advanced techniques, the energy goes back to like the other parties if they're open to it. It's really comprehensive. Reiki does its due diligence full on, and the creators of the Holy Fire Reiki lineage, they're tapped in. They're really tapped in. Really, really thorough. So I don't know where I was going with that. We're going all through time and space. All through time and space. Yeah, y'all, it's getting a bit late. I've probably gone on here for an hour. I had a lot more to talk about. Yeah, detach from ego and story in the healing. And the more I can really do that, the better. And I think that's often what is too emphasized and crystallized and like reaffirmed and like empowered and kind of focused on in therapy. And that's like maybe one of its shortcomings or limitations. Not saying therapy's bad, not saying therapy doesn't work. It has a time and a place. It's a specific approach. It's a specific skill set, system of tools and techniques that can be effective, but it's also good to know the strengths and limitations of any kind of healing tool, right? And Reiki kind of takes the opposite approach, where the ego, like we're detaching from the ego, we're setting it aside when it's not needed, empowering the healthy aspects, and then releasing all of those unhealthy aspects into the light to be healed and cleared. And what really facilitates that process is not attaching to any of that story around why the programming was there, or like who did it, who put that thought in my brain, or like what's the exact nature of the abuse or the trauma, or like what are all the details, because that can like lock it in tighter and embed it deeper in the aura, in the psyche, in the energy body, instead of making it like, oh no, it's just getting closer to the surface so that it can be lifted and into the light be healed. Woo! Yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, if you're feeling the vibes, I'm teaching Reiki 1 and 2 in May online. It'll be a worldwide event. It'll be an interdimensional online event. It's going to be cool. It's going to be deep. It's going to be connective. It's going to be Reiki community, meeting Reiki fam. And I said with humans, and also, like, who knows what beings you might interact with too, if you want to. That's all available. It's all available. So if y'all want to sign up for that, the link to register is in my bio, or it's in the description if you're seeing this on YouTube later on. Share this, like this if you like it, if you feel some healing, if you're getting any benefits. You share it, you like it, that helps other people see it. That works with the Instagram algorithm so that more people can experience healing, awakening, the possibility of sacred container online, good times, not just junk in your brain and your system, right? Like, it's just good stuff. So share if you resonate. Come join the class. I'd love to have you. And regardless, I love you. I send you light. I send you healing. I see you. I appreciate you. And know that you are loved and that you matter. You matter. Namaste. Shine on. Shine on. You're needed. You're needed on planet Earth. Shine on.